looks like we need a little transportation. Nice. Your pull.
We all live in a capital I, in the middle of the desert, in the center of the sky. And all day long we polish on the eye to keep it clean and shiny so it brightens up the sky. Rubbing it here and scrubbing it there, polishing the eye so high in the air. As we work, we sing a lively tune. It is great to be so happy on a busy afternoon. And when we're through with the day's only chore, we go into the eye and we close the door. Capital I, capital I, capital I, capital I.
On a mysterious night, Pupil appeared, bringing happiness. Pupil has changed everything in our lives. He's colorful, magical, lovable. Ruby, he's our friend. Ruby, amazing cute.
Hello, my name is Rubik.
In early 2007, modern imaging technology revealed something else on Saturn that astounded scientists.
We see it very, very intensely now.
It's something big, something strange, and something never seen in the universe before. Saturn, the solar system's most bizarre yet beautiful planet, has just gotten even more mysterious. In 1979, the Voyager spacecraft showed a perfect geometric form over the North Pole. In October 2006, the Cassini craft found that it is still there.
It's just bizarre, and it sits there kind of still. It doesn't move with the planet. The pole, there's a hexagonal feature, a six-sided polygon that encircles the pole at about 78 degrees north latitude. And it's sitting there as a set feature.
The hexagon is similar to Earth's polar vortex, which has winds blowing in a circular fashion around the pole. Saturn's vortex can fit 4 Earths inside of it and extends 60 miles deep into Saturn's clouds.
And what's more bizarre, Voyager saw little tiny clouds going around at about 100 meters per second, which is about 200 miles an hour, going around this racetrack. People thought, well, maybe it's just a temporary thing. How could this stay there? It's been there now for at least 20 years, and we're going, what is this?
Since 2007 and the War of Six Planets, man has lived in peace. Yet over the centuries, there arose a certain restlessness with this quiet tranquility. So man began to explore the limits of his universe. And it was out there, beyond the black holes, near the absolute edge of the possible, that the cube was found. Oh yes, we've all played the cube from the outside, and that was easy. But how to play it from the inside? Inside, things aren't so simple. Shifting walls pound at your concentration. Every corridor leads to the unexpected, to a different brand of doom. Your life depends on lightning reflexes, but your goal is a treasure few have attained, the treasure of Mytha. For that small handful who outwit Mytha and his cunning army, the dwellers of the dark, for the elite core, goes a special place in cubic history. Enter the cube. Survive the unthinkable.
Everyone knows some things about the honeybee. Her industrious buzzing from flower to flower seeking nectar, the delicious product she makes from that nectar, and the potency of her last resort defense. Such things as are commonly known about the bee do not suggest a beehive as a good place for a lesson in mathematics. But here, as in all of nature, understanding what is happening involves mathematics. For mathematics is the language of science. This piece of honeycomb, a little over an ounce, represents over 20,000 bee miles for collection of nectar, the raw material, plus over 110,000 bee hours spent transforming the nectar into wax, to which must be added more than 18,000 bee hours for fashioning the wax into comb, according to a precise pattern. Since honeycomb is so expensive to construct, it's obvious that economy in the use of wax is very important to the welfare of the hive. Is there a geometric shape which is more economical to build than any other? We have made models in which each has the same volume and the same height. Which of these requires the least amount of material to build? That is, which has the smallest lateral surface area? Since the height is the same, the one with the shortest perimeter is the best. More sides mean less perimeter. Thinking of the cylinder as having an infinite number of sides shows that it uses the least material. But cylinders are only economical if they stand alone. Placed together, they leave large gaps between them. Since no walls can be shared, they are wasteful of both space and material. Wherever walls lie side by side, they can be shared by two cells. That is, one wall can do the work of two. Thus, octagons, in which 4 of 8 sides can be shared, save 25% on material. Triangles, by sharing all their sides, and squares, save 50% on material. Therefore, when we consider the savings possible through the sharing of sides, the material needed to construct cylinders does not change. But the other figures require less material, for they share sides. Of all the figures, the hexagon uses the least material. This is the shape the bees use. This discovery of the economy of honeycomb was made over 16 centuries ago by an Alexandrian geometer, Pupil. What he and others have learned about honeycomb has been applied to build the largest grain elevator in the world. The hexagon provided the most economical, the strongest design. Such study of living things is today called bionics. Much effort is being expended to learn from a wide variety of creatures, and results are coming in. Study of the eye of a beetle has resulted in a device installed on planes which measures their ground speed more accurately than had been possible before. Study of the common housefly has given us a new, extremely rugged gyroscope. Indeed, there seems to be no area in which men cannot learn from the abilities and organs which God has given to his creatures. And in practically every instance, mathematical calculations are involved in understanding the animals and in applying what we learn. There is much more we can learn from honeycomb. A structural engineer can show us other advantages of the hexagon among all the patterns the bees might have used. When certain transparent plastics are placed in a polariscope and a stress applied, colored patterns appear. The series of rainbow changes are most numerous where the stress is most concentrated, as at the corner of the notch, the weakest point on the bar. The stress patterns from various geometric shapes are most revealing. What if bees had built square cells? One of the drawbacks of square cells is that a load along a partition is not readily transferred to adjacent partitions. In triangular cells, a load at any point is distributed to several members. However, there is a major drawback. The horizontal members are loaded in compression. This is the wrong way to load a thin plate, which readily buckles. In hexagonal cells, however, the load is distributed as a tension. This makes maximum use of the strength of the thin wax walls. The pattern is so strong that less material is needed in the walls to support the load. Bees take advantage of this and make the walls of the cells less than 3/1000ths of an inch thick, thinner than a sheet of paper. It's amazing, isn't it? Bees build honeycomb just as if they were graduates from the best schools of engineering.